Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Health insurance reform
About Obamacare.
with the Affordable Care Act.
We suffered with Obamacare.
The Affordable Care Act.
Obamacare has wreaked havoc.
Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act was passed. That's what the Affordable Care Act is. That's what all the fuss is about.
Obamacare is a complete and total disaster.
Hello there. My name is Kyle Rogers. For years, the United States has struggled with the ideas and concepts of healthcare in our country. As rich and as developed as a country as we may be, the United States spends over 22% more per capita on healthcare every year than the next highest spending country in the world. We also spend over $2.6 trillion each year on healthcare, and that number is continuing to rise rapidly. Although we have quality healthcare, we are still ranked over 30th in the world in life expectancy, as well as close to 50th in infant mortality worldwide. These are quite unsettling numbers for a developed country such as ourselves, and it is crucial that we find a way to fix this problem and lower our spending on healthcare. While I know it is not our MO to follow the trends of other countries, there is much to learn from that of other countries with more efficient as well as more effective healthcare systems. Countries much like our own, Germany, Great Britain, Japan, Switzerland, for example, are finding ways to provide their people with healthcare and health insurance with little to no chance of bankruptcy for their patients. One of the biggest problems our country faces at the moment in healthcare is the financial stability and potential bankruptcy of our healthcare patients. There are ways to avoid this, and there have been proven success stories for these specific issues with other countries. Take Taiwan, for example. Taiwan recently found themselves in a much richer state as a country than in years past. In this process, they were determined to redevelop a new healthcare system to reflect that of other rich countries. They did so by analyzing healthcare systems in 10 to 15 of some of the richer countries worldwide. They were able to see what worked and what didn't, while also taking aspects that were mediocre but could also be improved. While I know that we are not Taiwan, why should we take for granted all the information that we have at our fingertips, mostly due to this technological age, in order to better ourselves as a country? Better ourselves to the point where we feel comfortable in all aspects of a country to say that we are the greatest nation in this world. It is my belief as I sit here before you that our people should have the privilege to confidently speak on the behalf of their country and healthcare system. This is why I have devised a new strategy involving different healthcare reforms to combat the struggles we face at this moment. Most importantly, we, the United States of America, should provide universal healthcare for all of our citizens. Millions of people have struggled to afford healthcare for years in the past, and I feel it is my duty to ensure that we acclimate ourselves to a culture and a country that can and will provide healthcare for all of its citizens. As I mentioned before, our rankings on significant measures of healthcare are quite unsettling for both you and I. A universal healthcare system would surely move us back near the top of those rankings. Why do we care so much about rankings, you might ask? These rankings are quantitative measures of human lives. Each ranking that we can improve to can be viewed as much longer lives for our people, as well as exponentially fewer deaths for our infants. These aren't just standings in a baseball division. These are American lives that we are talking about. We as a country can afford this by paying higher taxes that go directly to our healthcare funding nationwide. These tax increases will guarantee long-term healthcare in the United States of America for all of its citizens without ever having to worry about another medical bill. Secondly, we need to utilize the technology that we are provided to better the lives of our people. Take Japan, for example. Japan uses MRIs per capita twice the amount of times as we do in our country. Japan's life expectancy also happens to be the largest and the longest in the world, and their infant mortality rate is the lowest as well. The government can set the price for these types of procedures so that way there is no price disparity in order to gain a higher profit. If prices seem to be too expensive, the government will work to find a more affordable standard price for procedures like MRIs that will benefit all of our people. Lastly, the competition that exists in our medical market should not be a profitability one. The competition existing between insurance companies currently is something that we should not be proud of. This is why we are eliminating this competition and, more importantly, eliminating the possibility that losing your job as an American citizen will also result in losing access to health care. My name is Kyle Rogers, and I approve this message. Thank you.